Hello, Tungsten Miner here. Today I'm going to talk about a mod that, well, it doesn't add anything to the game, but it does make your inventory a lot easier to manage. So I'm talking about just enough items, which takes up this little right-hand panel next to your inventory. And you've probably seen other mods that are very similar to this, but this one takes a real focus on being very lightweight, very simple, and really being excellent at looking up recipes for things and seeing how they're used. So at the moment, you can see I've got 8 different pages that I can click through and see all the various items that I've got selected. I've got my list of all the items. You'll notice that as I hover over them, I get this overlay that shows me the name of the item, the mod that it's from on the top and the bottom, and in between it will show me various useful facts about that item if there are any to be had. So here's a piece of armor and it's telling me how tough it is and how much armor class it adds. Here's a weapon, it tells me its attack speed and attack damage. So as you float over various other items, you can see different useful stats about them. So here's one where if I hold down shift I can see more. Here's another one I can see a lot more. So all of those things are going to get reflected in the tooltips. And some of these tooltips are coming directly from the mod, and some of them are coming directly from just enough items. Down here, I've got a little search box, and you can see right now I've got this @ symbol and thermal next to it. This @ symbol means search for some text in the mod's name, and then here's the text I want to look for. So I'm finding anything that comes from any mod which contains thermal in its title. If I were to take that out, now I'm searching for, well, every item everywhere. So this is all things from Minecraft. So I can say @Minecraft, and it's going to show me just the things from Minecraft. Notice this went from 21 down to 14, and all I've got are items that are in Minecraft itself, naturally. If I type something wrong, it's going to show me nothing and make my little search text red. If I want to configure the search, I can come in here and I can change various settings about letting me cheat items in and hiding items and where the search bar goes and stuff like that. I can also change my search options so that I can add different keywords to the front, so I can search for things in the color or in which creative tab the item happens to be in. Maybe I'm just going to turn that off altogether. Search by the mod name, I'm going to require that prefix. I can search in the OR dictionary, but I'm going to require a prefix. Disabled or enabled just means search in the OR dictionary all the time. You don't necessarily have to have this $sign. And this is searching within the tooltip. And again, it's enabled all the time without the $sign on. I can apply these changes globally, which means both to this world that I'm in right now and to every other world that I might visit. Resetting to defaults, undo changes, kind of what you'd expect. So I'm going to save my changes, hit done. But the really interesting thing is what happens when you're clicking on things in this sidebar. So I'm going to select just items from thermal expansion, and the simplest thing you can do is just left click on an item. That's going to bring up this interface, which just shows you how you get that item. And in this case, the only way to get one of these items, this servo, is to craft it on the crafting table, and so it gives me the recipe, and that's all there is. If I were to right-click on the item, it's going to show me what recipes use this as one of the inputs. So instead of what recipes use it as an output, here's what you get to use it as an input in order to make, well, other things. And then while I'm in here, if I want to see, oh, hey, what else can I make with a hardened servo, I can left-click on hardened servo and see what it's used to make. And I can right-click, sorry. If I can right-click on these things and see what they're used to make in turn, and drill deeper and deeper and deeper into the sets of dialogues. If I ever want to go back, I just hit the backspace key, and it's going to bring me back to the screen I was just on. Until now, I'm all the way back at the beginning. And finally, I can just hit escape to dismiss that menu altogether. Things get interesting, though, when you have various kinds of machines. So let's take this sawmill, for example. If I left-click on the sawmill, of course, it's just going to show me the recipe for the sawmill. But if I right-click on the sawmill, it's going to show me all of the things that a sawmill can be used both in a crafting recipe to make, but also anywhere in the recipe to make some kind of output, and including what tool. So this is showing me all the recipes where the sawmill is used as a tool to process some input into some output. And you can see there's a lot, right? There's 31 different things, and I can click through them all, or I can use my mouse wheel to scroll through them in order to see what all those recipes are that use the sawmill as a tool for making some kind of output. Now, it just so happens that this mod is pretty smart about thermal expansion, so it knows about this resin funnel, and it's able to give me the recipe specifically for this upgrade or specialization for the sawmill. So these two things work super well in common, and that's generally true of a lot of different mods. So if you find that there's a mod you're using that doesn't have good support in just enough items, by all means contact the authors and let them know. I'm sure they'd be very happy to try and include that in the future. So that's about it. Very simple mod. It doesn't do everything that all of the in-game tutorial sort of mods do, but it's really, really easy to use and very, very lightweight. So I think it makes for a really good addition to the game. And maybe instead of using some of the more complicated recipe lookup mods. Anyway, if you like this video, go ahead and hit like. If you want to know when the next one's ready, hit subscribe, and I will talk to you later.